Hello, my name is Wong Liping. I'm from Group B English Oral Communication Section 62. Today I'm going to interview Mr. Roger for 10 basic questions and 10 topic issue questions about the effects of COVID-19 pandemics to the interviewees. So now, shall we start the interview by introducing your name, age, place of origin, and your occupation?
Okay, my name is Roger Yong. So I'm 29 this year. My place of origin is I'm from Singapore, and my occupation is I'm doing techno function analyst.
Okay. May I know what is your hobby and how often do you exercise?
Okay, my hobby is I like to um, like watch dramas and variety shows and look at pretty girls. I exercise maybe 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay. What type of vaccination do you take?
Oh, okay. So I took 2 shots of Pfizer and then followed by a Moderna booster shot. Yeah, so I took three.
Do you think that COVID-19 will stay with us forever?
Yeah, I think so. I think it will stay with us forever. But if we are vaccinated and we are all protected, I think it will just be like a common flu, I guess.
Do you agree that children who are not vaccinated are wandering outside from home?
I think in a way, yes. You can't really stop children from, staying at home all the. I mean, you can't make children stay at home all the time, right? So, and they are too young to be vaccinated. So I think it's all right for them to be unvaccinated and then wandering outside from home.
How will you react to those who are not wearing masks in public places?
Okay, so I'm from Singapore. So right now our law states that we do not have to wear masks in public places for outdoors. So to me, I'm like, it doesn't really. I'm not concerned about it. I'm like, whatever.
Okay. Okay. So now we will move on to the topic issue questions. The first question is how COVID-19 have affected your daily life?
Okay, at the very beginning, it has affected lives by making us unable to go to work and go to school. It has put a stop to a lot of daily activities, so it was very tough. But now that 2 years later, the situation has become better. Other than mask wearing everywhere, it is getting back to normal. So right now, it doesn't really affect too much.
Okay. In this pandemic situation, does the pandemic help in a positive way? Can you give an example?
Okay, I think one of the positive things that we learn from this pandemic, or rather, is we are more aware, and we are more, how to put it, we are more health conscious, we are more hygienic, because we are aware that we have to sanitize our hands, we have to be more mindful of ourselves and others, so we are able to protect our own people. Yeah, so I think that's one of the good things now. We are able to take care of ourselves and others and be cleaner and more hygienic.
What are the precaution steps that should be taken by all the livelihoods to avoid being affected by COVID-19?
Okay, I think it's very hard to really want to get to really avoid being infected. But I think one of the few things we can do is to, wash your hands, don't go to crowded places so much, wear a mask if you need to. If you don't feel well, you should stay at home so that you don't go around and spread your disease and germs.
The next question is, how does the government help the citizens to endure the pandemics?
Okay, so in Singapore, it depends on which like it depends on how the pandemic affect the country, right? So over here, a lot of people lost their jobs, so government has actually came up with a lot of government grants and government support to help people to return to their jobs. So they have been opening up new jobs for people to take, so that like maybe safe distance ambassadors or safe entry personnel, so that they can at least have something to do during this period. Yeah, other than that, they also give out some money to help people or some rebate so that people who are able to work are able to survive during this tough period lah. Yeah.
What do you think was the most affected sector during this pandemic?
I think most affected sector depends on if you were talking about affected sector as in monetary or anything. I think it will be tourism because people cannot travel, so tourism will be very badly affected. Other than that, if you're talking about affected in other areas, I think healthcare also, because they'll be affected like emotionally also, and because they've been very overloaded with work. So yeah, healthcare and maybe tourism.
Okay. Besides wearing masks, sanitizing our hands frequently, and following SOP rules, are there other ways to prevent this pandemic?
Hmm, I think wearing masks and sanitizing our hands are really the most basic things that we can do. Other ways to prevent this pandemic is to be more aware, like be more health conscious. Be more conscious that if you are not feeling well, you really should stay at home and then don't be a warrior. Don't go and garang and then go and go out of house. You have to be mindful. Yeah, I mean in the past before COVID, people who are sick they will still want to work. They would not like to stay at home. So when COVID hits, these people they actually will choose to stay at home because it's for their own good and for the people's benefit also. Yeah, so I think staying at home and quarantine yourself if you don't feel well is one of the ways you can do.
What is your view on people who have been infected with the COVID-19 but still wandering around?
Okay, I think this group of people are very like selfish people, right? So I think in Singapore it's very hard for these people to wander around because the government is very strict on punishing these kind of people when they are being watched by the government. So this we don't really face this issue here. Yeah, but my personal view is that these people are being very selfish. They just want to enjoy their lives and then don't care about other people. So yeah, I disagree with what they're doing.
Okay, which are the steps that should be taken when you are suspected of positive COVID-19?
Okay, I think right now, if you're suspected, what one thing you can do is to take the ART, to take the ART, so to see if you are infected with COVID. Then if you are, you should just stay at home for a few days until you test negative. I think that would be the best. To self quarantine.
Based on the current situation in your country, do you think that now is a proper time to open for travel?
Yeah, I would think so because most of the people here are vaccinated, right? And um, from data, it shows that people are not very sick when they catch COVID now because they're vaccinated. So this will be treated like maybe a common flu. So I think it's a good time to travel. It's for economic reasons, for like for reasons, and for many other reasons, economically, physically, emotionally, for people to want to travel out of the country. So this is the right time, I feel, for us to open up our country for traveling.
Okay. The last question is food banks are one of the most popular actions that have been done by some people who wanted to help those in need during these pandemic situations. What's your opinion when you saw this news?
Okay, so I've heard of these food banks. I didn't exactly follow it very closely, but I've heard of it. So I think it's a good initiative by like charity organizations or a group of Samaritans so that they can help people who are less fortunate because COVID-19 actually affected many people and it affected the poor people the most because I feel that poor people do not have enough money to like tide through many months. They're always surviving paycheck to paycheck. So having these poor people to provide food and food banks to help poor people is a very good initiative so that they are able to feed themselves during this period.
Okay. That's the end of this interview session. Thank you, Mr. Roger, for lending me your time to answer all of my 20 questions about the effects of COVID-19 pandemics to the interviewees.
Mm.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lim Ji Hong. I'm from Group B, Section 62, Oral Communication in English. And today I will be going to interview Dependent Joel for 20 questions about the effect of COVID-19 pandemic to the interviewers. So shall we start the interview by introducing your name, your age, place of origin, and your occupation?
Yeah, sure. My name is Joel Lim. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Negeri Sembilan, Malaysia, and I am a computer science student.
Okay. May I know what's your hobby and how often do you exercise?
My hobby consists of generally sports and music. I play basketball, play badminton, and if talking about music, I play guitar, and I exercise quite often. I would say at least one time every week.
Oh, okay. What type of vaccination do you took?
I took two first vaccines and then a booster shot. All of them are Pfizer shots.
Oh, do you think that COVID-19 will stay with us forever?
By watching the news lately, I don't feel too optimistic about the pandemic. It seems like every other week there are a new COVID variant that is more transmissible. Although I don't think COVID will stay forever, but I believe it will be around for a very long time.
Oh, okay. Do you agree that children who are not vaccinated are wandering outside from home?
Yes, I agree. Not only children, but also even adults and teenagers that are not vaccinated are still going outside.
Okay. How would you react to those who are not wearing masks in public places, even though we are now free without any mask on?
Um, my opinion, even before the pandemic, it is common for people to wear masks when they are sick. For example, have a flu. I would encourage wearing masks, but I won't react too strongly if someone chooses not to wear it.
Oh, okay. So we are now we'll be head on to the topic issue questions. And the first question is how COVID-19 has affected your daily life.
Mm, Personally, I think I have become more self-conscious of the personal space and hygiene in general. For example, I would frequently sanitize my hand and avoid close contact with strangers by social distancing. Besides,
Oh,
I would also avoid public gathering in fear of being transmitted.
okay. Another question is in this pandemic situation, does the pandemic help in a positive way? Can you give me some example?
I think yes. I think there are some positive impact. For example, the answer I give just now, people like me will be more self-conscious about hygiene and personal space. That is one of the positive impacts I can think of.
Oh, okay. Nice answer. The next question will be how does the government help the citizen to endure this pandemic?
There are many efforts done by the government. For example, the government has sent out testing kit to B40 families, give e-credit such as e-Permuda to stimulate the economy, and discount the fees of public university to decrease the burden of parents.
Oh, based on your knowledge, what do you think was the most affected sector during this pandemic?
In my opinion, the travel and tourism sector has been greatly affected. When people cannot travel into our country, this sector have little to no income. A lot of the travel and tourism companies have to change their business model, fire workers to suit the current situation. There are many more sectors that are having a hard time, but travel and tourism is certainly one of them.
Oh, okay. Beside wearing masks, sanitizing our hand frequently, and follow the SOP rules, right? Are there other ways to prevent this pandemic?
Generally, I think having a healthy lifestyle is important. When we have a healthy body, our immune system is stronger and will be less likely to suffer from severe issues when we are infected. That is for preventing infection for ourselves. Besides, we should also prevent going to large gathering if we are infected.
Okay. What is your view on people who have been affected with the COVID-19 but still wandering around?
I feel that everyone should have quarantined themselves in that case. I don't view them as good or bad, but I feel if we do all do our part by social distancing, wearing masks, we can minimize the risk for ourselves.
Okay. Um, which are the steps that should be taken when you are suspected of positive COVID-19?
The few steps I can think of is testing if we are infected or not, quarantine, and avoid interaction with others.
Okay. Based on the current situation in Malaysia, do you think that now is a proper time to open for travel?
Yes, I do think this is a proper time because the cases are in a downtrend and it can help our economy.
Okay. The last question is like this. Food bank, we all know that, right? Food bank are one of the most popular action that have been done by some people who wanted to help those in need during this pandemic situation. What I want to ask is, what's your opinion when you saw this news?
When I saw this, I feel grateful that there are people or organizations willing to help those in need. I think food banks is a good initiative, and I hope to see more in the future.
Okay, so that's all the question I will ask in the interview. Thank you for participating and stay safe during this pandemic. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Hello, Ilya. How are you doing? How's everybody at home?
Hello, I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. Everything's good. Alhamdulillah.
How
So,
are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, okay.
So,
So,
currently, I'm doing a task for my study, which is I
yeah.
need to interview some people regarding on a few issues regarding pandemic. So,
Okay.
shall we start with first question? Just briefly
Okay, sure.
explain about your name, your age, your occupation, and place of origin.
Okay. My name is Ilya Roger, anak Umbar. I am Iban. My dad is originated from Sarawak, but then I've been staying in Sabah since my birth. I got birth here in Queen Elizabeth Hospital. So basically, I'm 23 years old and currently working on my own business.
Okay, nice to know you. um,
Okay. Yep.
I was wondering, how often do you exercise?
Yeah. Previously, I did the sake of productivity. I've been exercising for 1 whole week. I'm currently on a streak. I just did about 8 kilometers today in Tanjung Lepas. My leg hurts.
Oh, then you better have a proper
So,
recovery.
is there any other question? Yes. Thank you, Saiful. Thank you.
So during pandemic, our government provide us vaccination, right? So what type of vaccination did you take?
Yes, they did provide us vaccination, and I took the one that's called Sinovac.
So for the
Yeah.
next question, do you agree on children who are not vaccinated are wandering outside from home?
I clearly disagree with that statement.
For the next question, how would you react to those who are not wearing masks in public places?
If me, my honest reaction would be, I don't actually care.
Why?
I don't actually care. But I don't actually care because I've got COVID myself 2 times, and I believe you do so too.
Yeah.
We were both wearing masks, right? We
Yeah.
still get COVID.
Yeah.
How come?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I don't think it's helping. We still get COVID. I don't think mask is helping us.
Yep. I agree with that, Ilya, because me myself, I already took first and second dose of vaccination, and then also I had the booster, but still I get infected. I don't know why. I don't know how is that when you had vaccination, you still get infected. So I don't know. So okay, we proceed for the issue question. Okay.
Yeah.
So for the first one,
Yep.
how is COVID-19 has affected your daily life?
During the quarantine, it affects my daily life quite well. I cannot go out, buy stuff, and do some activities outside. And also, I feel basically an unpleasant feeling.
And in this pandemic situation, does the pandemic help in a positive way?
In a positive way, I think it does help a little bit, but it does help a little bit in terms of discipline, I guess. Yeah, discipline. Because we gotta follow the rules all the time. When back then when the pandemic was quite heavy,
So for the next question, what are the precaution steps that should be taken by all the livelihoods to avoid being infected by COVID-19?
I guess the biggest precaution step for me was not going to crowded places. Not going to crowded places and always wash your hands. That's all. Yeah.
Exactly. Good. Next question is, how does the government help the citizens to endure the pandemic?
This is a tough question.
Why is it a tough question, Ilya?
Because I don't feel like I get the help from the government, you know?
Understand?
Yes, yes. They do help, but the help is just not sustainable, right?
I'm not sure about that, Ilya. I do understand. Maybe everyone are affected, but then
Yes.
honestly, from my point of view, I don't think that our government did help everyone.
Yes. True.
Right. And then
Yes.
for the next question, what do you think was the most affected sector during this pandemic?
The most affected sector would be travel. Yeah.
Travel and tourism.
Travel and tourism, yeah, that would be the most affected sector. And also, just travel and tourism, yeah.
That sector is the most affected, right?
Yes.
And then, besides wearing masks, sanitizing our hands frequently, and following the SOP rules, are there other ways to prevent this pandemic? What do you think?
Ways to prevent this pandemic. Okay, let me think about that. Besides using sanitizer, masks, and everything, is there any other way to prevent this pandemic? I believe there's no way that I could think of. I don't know the answer to that question. Yeah.
I think what they want us to think is that maybe by taking a few supplements like vitamin B would help us a bit, not much.
Oh, true.
Right.
Yep. Oh, yeah, supplements. Yeah,
Supplements.
yeah. You are correct. Yeah, true, man. Yeah.
And then for the next question, what is your view on people who have been infected with COVID-19 but still wandering around? What do you think?
Oh, my view on that is that person is unresponsible, careless. They are selfish. They only think about themselves. They don't know, like us, you know. We have old people in our family, you know, right?
Right.
So if that certain person go infect our old people, they die.
Yeah, exactly.
How would it be, right? So it's just bad. It's just like selfish.
Selfish lah. Yes, it gives sense of selfishness. They don't think about others, right?
Yes.
So and then you know that it's quite challenging to identify people who get infected. So based on your point of view or your opinion, is there any steps that can be modernized in order to solve this issue? So what do you think? Which are the steps that should be taken when you are suspected of COVID-19?
I think in order to actually identify who is getting, that was the question, right? How to identify who got COVID, right? Is it?
Not really. The question is it's your opinion. Which are the steps that should be taken when you are suspected of COVID-19?
Oh, okay. Which are the steps that should be taken when I am suspected of COVID-19, right?
Yep.
So basically, I got the COVID myself, and then the steps I took are the ones that the government sent us, where we need to monitor our oxygen level, and also our drink plenty of water and get enough rest, and also inform the government. Yeah, that was the step I took. Yeah.
That's a wise step, Ilya. Very good.
Yes. Thank you.
So based on the current situation in Malaysia, our current situation, do you think that right now is a proper time to open for travel?
I think currently in Malaysia, pandemic is already around us. You yourself as a politician know that, like, we actually don't care anymore about COVID, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's best for Malaysia to open for tourism so we can boost our economy further. Yeah.
Yeah, because travel and tourism is the most sector that contribute to our economy, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is a famous, I would say that famous question, because we acknowledge that our government did not help much, right? So
Yes.
there are few steps and helps or alternative from a few people, non-government and also non-government organization. One of it is food banks. So basically, food banks are one of the most popular action that have been done by some people who wanted to help those in need during this pandemic situation. What's your opinion when you saw this news?
I think the food bank does really help people, but then there are just some unresponsible people who actually took advantage of the food banks. They take extra. It's supposed to be 1 for 1, but they take extra. So that's the bad part. But actually, it's a really good decision made from the government. Yeah.
Yeah, like Ebit Liu. You know Ebit Liu? Ustad Ebit Liu?
Yes, I know.
You know
I
him,
know
right?
a bit, Leo. Yes.
You know, during the pandemic, he plays one of the most important role, giving supplies to the
Yep.
less fortunate people and families, and also like hypermarket company like Maidin.
Yes.
Do you remember during the flood in Semenanjung in Kuala Lumpur?
Yes.
We had flood and pandemic in the same time, but Maidin
Yeah.
helped a lot of our people, right?
Yes. Yes.
So thank you for them, and
Yeah.
that's it for today's session. Thank you
Yes.
very much for your cooperation, your
Yes.
sincerity in helping to get things done. I really hope that you and your family always be in a good shape, pink of health, and always be blessed by God. Thank you so much, Ilya.
Yeah. Thank you to you too for choosing me as your candidate to interview. Thank you, Saif. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah.
See you later, Ilya. Take care, man.
Okay. See you later. Yeah, man. Okay. Bye bye.
Welcome to the interview.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
That's good. Let's start the interview. Are you ready?
Yes,
Okay, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Aizan Izlan bin Majunting. I am student oil and gas engineering at University of Malaysia Sabah UMS. So for today, I have been interview with you which a topic is effect of COVID-19 pandemic to the interviewers. In this interview, I will ask 10 general questions and 10 issue topic questions. Then you will ask all the questions spontaneously.
yes.
Any questions so far?
No,
Okay, that's good. Let's start the interview with the generic question first. Can I know your name, age, occupation, place of origin, and hobby?
my name is Alzaidi bin Husil. I'm 20 years old. I'm a student at SMK Abdul Rahim Kudat. I live in Kampung Lausan, Kudat. My hobby is fishing.
Okay. Next question is, how often do you exercise?
3 times a week.
What type of vaccination did you take?
The Pfizer vaccine.
Do you think COVID-19 will stay with us forever?
Yes,
Okay.
because we still have small chance to get infected by COVID-19, even after we got vaccinated. But only showing the symptom for a few days.
Okay. Do you agree that children who are not vaccinated are wandering outside from home?
No, because the children that not vaccinated has low resistance against COVID-19 infection.
Last question of basic question is, how will you react to those who are not wearing masks in public place?
I will keep my distance or leave that place immediately to reduce the chance I'm getting the infection.
Nice. Let's move on to the issue topic question. The first question is how COVID-19 has affected our daily life.
Oh. The COVID-19 affected our lifestyle from the movement control order. The movement control order restricted our movement and reduce the number of infection. And our working environment also changed as we work from home. Economy also affected as COVID-19 slowing down the manufacturing of essential goods. Mm, and our social community also affected as COVID-19 disrupt our celebration of cultural, religious, and festival event.
Okay, nice. The second question is in this pandemic situation, does the pandemic help in a positive way? Give examples.
Hmm. This pandemic has led to the reduction of environment pollution, like air pollution, and sound pollution because of movement control order. And we also able to spend time with our family during this pandemic.
Okay, nice. Next question is, what are the precaution steps that should be taken by all livelihood to avoid being infected by COVID-19?
Hmm, wear mask in public and self quarantine if you have any symptom of COVID-19 and avoid crowded place.
Next question is, how does the government help the citizen to endure the pandemic?
Movement control order.
Okay, good. What do you think was the most affected sector during this pandemic?
Economy is the most affected during this pandemic.
Okay, good. Besides wearing masks, sanitizing our hands frequently, and following SOP rules, are there other ways to prevent this pandemic?
Hmm. Get vaccinated, of course, to increase our body immunity.
Hmm, okay. What is your view on people who have been infected with the COVID-19 but still wandering around?
They will increase the infection rate of COVID-19 and we will be in MCO again.
Okay. Which are the steps that should be taken when you are suspected of positive COVID-19? Eh?
Hmm. Do a self test by using the test kit and self quarantine.
Okay. Based on the current situation in Malaysia, do you think that now is a proper time to open the travel?
I think the best time to open the travel to our country is when the rate of infection is decreased.
Okay. Last question is, food bank are one of the most popular actions that have been done by some people who wanted to help those in need during this pandemic situation. What's your opinion when do you saw this news?
I'm happy because they know how tough our life during this pandemic, especially for the low income family. This action will lighten their burden. Yes, they
Okay.
did.
Before we end, do you want to say something?
Um, I don't have anything to say left. I think that's
Okay.
all.
I think that's all for today. I hope we can meet in the future. Thank you. Nice to meet you.